I can hear you now. There, yeah, now I can hear you. I don't think so. No. I mean, nah. Yeah, I'm kind of busy right now. Yeah, we'll see.
The following is a presentation of
I mean,
Fox
there's always
Sports.
Sarah, you know.
We are the Force. We are the
I want
West.
to get married to her.
Fans bringing another steamy June evening in South.
My name's forever known.
The starting lineup for your San Antonio FC. Number 11, defender and team captain, Reno. Number 24, in goal, Reno. Number 4, defender, Victoria Henry. Number 3, defender, Brian Stevens. Number 2, midfielder, Darrell King. Number 5, midfielder, Mikey Lopez. Number 22, midfielder, Charlie Ward. Fans bringing another steamy June evening in South Texas, but that won't deter a capacity crowd expected at Toyota Field. It's the finale of a three-match homestand for San Antonio FC. They welcome in Reno 1868 FC here on Fox Sports Southwest. And a pleasant good evening to you. Welcome to the broadcast booth along with Lance Key. I'm Dan Weiss. Anya Rosales will join us down on the field in just a bit. A year ago, Diego Restrepo was the keeper of the year in the United Soccer League, 12 clean sheets. But last Saturday night against Sacramento, it might have been his best performance with San Antonio FC.
Absolutely. Diego was called on regularly throughout the course of 90 minutes. At times was almost standing on his head, but he did such a great job of staying upright and taking good starting positions, which allowed him to keep the ball out of the back of the net for 90 minutes and ultimately earn SAFC 3 points.
And for San Antonio FC, maybe their best defensive performance in 3 years here. That's put San Antonio FC in the driver's seat right now, sitting tied with Colorado Springs for 8th in the table, Lance, 20 points and 3 games in hand.
Absolutely. There's still a lot of the season to be played. We've been able to get some points in these last few matches, but the quality of play has really got to elevate. They've tried to transition into a new shape, which I think you've got to give them a little bit of grace through that time. But really, it's the time of the season where they've got to start to play at a higher level, more consistently, and be able to really understand and rely on each other and understand what each other are trying to do within this new system.
One of the teams they're chasing is here tonight, Reno 1868 FC. Second and final meeting of the season between these two clubs. Reno winning back in May 2-1 at Greater Nevada Field. We'll see what happens tonight. San Antonio FC fans expected to be loud and proud inside Toyota Field. Anya Rosales will join us when we return on Fox Sports Southwest.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chicken biscuits made fresh daily for breakfast.
Now that's smart.
Corner stores are proudly becoming Circle K, home of the Polar Pop Cup. That's right, you can enjoy any size Polar Pop Cup filled to the brim with your favorite flavor for just 79 cents at any corner store. Nothing stays cold longer, and the Polar Pop Cup is the best way to quench your thirst. Stay refreshed all day long for just 79 cents. Corner store, proudly becoming Circle K.
I'm Brett Ramsey. I've worked at H-E-B for over 40 years. Here, our team developed the Cody brand. These are coolers and tumblers that really stack up against other high-performance brands. They're as tough as Texas and perfect for all the things we love. And made with the highest quality at the best price, or we wouldn't put the H-E-B name on it. So enjoy keeping it cold without getting burned by the price. This is the Cody department at H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
When it needs to be ultra exciting, high-flying, non-stop action, San Antonio FC Soccer's got you covered. When it needs to be high-performing, hard-working, high-tech, super safe, built for comfort, and surprisingly affordable, Holt Cat has got you covered. With best-in-class cat-heavy equipment, engines, generators, and more, plus legendary service and support, and the largest parts inventory and distribution network in Texas. Kick it into high gear with Holt Cat.
Here at home. Let's take a look at our starting 11s tonight for both sides, beginning with Reno 1868 FC, a year ago matching San Antonio FC in wins with 17. Antoine Hopino is the man that San Antonio FC is going to have to target tonight. 12 goals a year ago, still looking for his first this year. For San Antonio FC tonight, they'll go once again back with more of their 3-back formation, but one of the returnees to the lineup, Darnell King, returns after coming back from a 1-game suspension that he served last week against Sacramento Republic FC. Here's our Methodist Healthcare injury report tonight. Stephen McCarthy, Rafa Castillo, both still injured, so to speak. They're in recovery from previous injuries. And for more on Darnell King and his return to the San Antonio FC lineup, let's welcome in the third member of our team, Anya Rosales, down on the field.
Thanks, Dan. That's right. We look at Darnell King, an integral player for SAFC's transition play tonight. King is just one of 3 players in the Western Conference who has 29 clearances and 36 tackles. And he also leads SAFC with 4 assists tonight. And after that 1-0 clean sheet win last night, we're going to really need King to play up, get in the attack, and score some goals for SAFC. Back up to you, Dan.
Thanks, Anya. And Lance, Darnell King coming over from Tampa Bay a year ago, 7th-year pro. His return to the lineup really should give San Antonio FC something in the transition game that Anya was referring to, particularly on that right flank this evening.
Absolutely. It will be interesting to see how they coordinate between Darnell and Omar there on the right-hand touchline. Darnell's really started to step into his element and started to really play at a high level these last few weeks. It'll be nice to have him back in the lineup tonight.
San Antonio FC and Reno 1868 FC underway for the final time this season. Along with Lance Key, Anya Rosales, and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks so much for joining us here on Fox Sports Southwest. Game time temperature 95 degrees, but the heat index makes it feel like 105. The humidity, the dew point is in the 70s. It's probably the hottest, the steamiest it's been here at Toyota Field this season. We'll have water breaks at the 25 and 75 minute mark this evening. And you know, there's been hot nights at Toyota Field, Lance, but because of all the rain that was here this past week in South Texas, that humidity, that air mass certainly is gonna hinge on these players throughout the match.
Yes, it's going to certainly affect the game. Obviously, it's been hot. It's very humid, as you said. We've gotten some rain, which we desperately needed here in South Texas. I think these players are probably prepared for it.
Reno 1868 FC comes in as one of the hottest teams in USL play. They're unbeaten in their last 11 dating back to April 14th. It's the longest unbeaten run in the Western Conference, and they are unbeaten on the road in their last 9 matches dating back to last season. They have not lost in their 8 matches away from Greater Nevada Field this season.
Is that it?
Jerry Van Avik will earn the first quarter of the match here for Reno 1868 FC. 21 corners last week conceded by San Antonio FC against Sacramento Republic. Van Avik, who practiced his trade in Orange County a year ago, he had 8 goals before signing as a free agent with Reno in the offseason. Good service to the top of the 6-yard box, defended away by Ryan Felix. Omar Gordon will come back on the ball. He's unable to keep it in play. Reno is one of those teams, Lance, that is going to do a lot of things similar to Sacramento. They're 5th in the league in shots, 218. They're 3rd in the league in chances created. They play up. They've got a lot of guys up front who can put the ball in the back of the net, and San Antonio FC is going to need another good defensive performance again tonight. Service in across the box, and it's defended away again by San Antonio FC. And already we're seeing here in these first couple of minutes, it's Reno the aggressor and on the attack.
Certainly SAFC conceding a lot of space, really conceding their entire attacking half, withdrawing their line of confrontation all the way to midfield.
You see in Russell, second-year head coach, last season led the best offensive team in the history of the USL. 75 goals for a Reno team that finished 17-7-8. 59 points. They finished 3rd in the Western Conference. Lost in the opening round against OKC Energy FC, though, in a 1-0 match at home in what was a Western Conference playoffs a season ago that saw 2 of the top 3 teams in the table go down to the opening round. Only San Antonio FC was able to go through into the semifinals. 1868, as we mentioned, their unbeaten streak coming into tonight. They're starting to move up the table. Gordon on the counter, quickly coming as he runs on Janjigian and plays it across the field here as San Antonio FC switches to play Mikey Lopez as he tried to, I'm not sure whether it was miscommunication, Lance. Looked like he was perhaps looking for Gordon on the right side there, but that ball went awry off his foot and ends up into a pretty harmless goal kick here.
Yeah, I think the reality there, Mikey Lopez really just made a poor decision. Greg Cochran making a good run down this left-hand side, something they obviously want to incorporate into their attack. Mikey Lopez electing not to play into the space in front of his feet for him to get into the box for that first touch. And as you said, harmlessly out of play for a goal kick.
JT Marcinkowski is the 21-year-old rookie keeper for Reno 1868 FC. He was San Jose's 3rd homegrown player to sign a contract with the first team, joining Tommy Thompson and Nick Lima. Marcinkowski played 4 years at Georgetown, .84 goals against average in 56 career matches with the Hoyas. San Antonio FC trying to complete a perfect 3-match homestand after coming up with victories against Timbers 2 in dramatic fashion, and last Saturday night against Sacramento, the numbers certainly were all against San Antonio, as Sacramento attempted a total of 38 shots in the game, 21 corners as we mentioned, and 28 shots in the box. Possession 70-30 in favor of Sacramento, but yet the clean sheet for Diego Restrepo here, and a foul on the attack against San Antonio FC, and that's Lindo Mafeka driving through the midfield. One of those players up top, Lance, that certainly brings a lot of offense to the table for 1868.
Yeah, really dangerous with the ball at his feet. Obviously a change of pace there to split two defenders, and Mikey Lopez with the professional foul to pull him down from behind and stop that attack just where it started. But again, another free kick set piece awarded to the opposition here for SAFC. Talked about them conceding space and really allowing Reno, much as Sacramento did last week, to play almost at will in their defensive half or the opposition's attacking half, depending on how you look at it. And so SAFC sort of getting comfortable or trying to get comfortable in their own defensive half of the field. The one thing they're going to have to do a better job of is this week, as opposed to last week, although they got the result, is if they're going to be able to sustain any sort of competitiveness, they're going to have to be able to keep the ball when they win it back, something they did not do much of last week, and they were fortunate to get away with 3 points. Certainly something you would expect them to have addressed this week in training.
Right-footed striker Jerry Van Avik over the ball here. Van Avik goes for goal, blocked by the wall. San Antonio FC with a clearance back upfield. Marcinkowski well off his line to come out and play this one. Reno got goals back in Nevada from Jerry Van Avik and Mo Chow in their 2-1 victory. And the goal for San Antonio FC came from Omar Gordon on a corner, which is San Antonio FC's lone set-piece goal so far this season. Brent Richards works that right flank as good as any back in the USL. San Antonio FC, though, able to win possession away. And here's Darnell King. First touch on the ball tonight. Looking in the direction there of Omar Gordon, trying to make the run. And well defended, and letting it ride out there was Duke Lacroix. Result in a goal kick here from Marcinkowski and Reno.
And those type of breaking moments that we just saw there, those are things that SAFC by design are trying to create in transition from defending to attacking. The situation they have to try to avoid is to becoming too predictable. We've got a vertical run from Omar Gordon there along the touchline, a vertical ball in from Darnell King. They're going to have to create some situations that are a little bit less predictable in order to be able to have success that they want there in the final third of the field.
Cochran tonight appearing in his 71st career match with San Antonio FC. For Cochran, he has been with the club all 3 seasons, most consistent there on the back end. He's won the armband a couple of times this year. Ryan Rashandle's back in the 11 tonight. Here's Escalante, corner of the box. Cochran makes the run. Escalante can't feed the ball through. San Antonio FC will have a throw in here and some good attacking pressure here for the first moments of the match. Charlie Ward in the starting 11 for the first time since joining San Antonio FC. Made his debut last Saturday against Sacramento, coming on, playing the entire second half. Mafeka upfield. And here's the rookie, Danny Masovsky. Nevada native who played at UNLV the last 4 years as he works it out wide. Antoine Hopeno. As he spins away here from Felix, trying to attack wide. Hopeno gets one on frame and a save for Restrepo.
Decent pressure there from Ryan Felix just to keep him outside. Stay upright, don't dive, and ultimately a harmless ball into the hands of Restrepo.
Here's Omar Gordon quickly back upfield. The attacking third with Darnell King offering support from behind. Charlie Ward to Mikey Lopez.
And you saw even in that moment, as SAFC tried to transition, it was 3 players versus 6 for Reno.
In the box, Elizondo, off a deflection. Duke Lacroix will let it ride out here. It'll be a corner coming up for San Antonio FC.
And the point going into that last sequence there is SAFC are going to have to make a decision when they're going to go forward, whether they want to go forward with purpose and try to incorporate more numbers into the attack, or whether they're just going to be satisfied with the moments sort of few and further between where maybe they might catch some space in between Reno defenders. But that last time, just not enough support for the ball. They're going to have to figure that out as the game goes on.
It'll be Omar Gordon to take the first Circle K corner kick of the evening for San Antonio FC. San Antonio getting 6 up here in the box, including Cyprian Hedrick, who had an outstanding match last Saturday night. This ball is played well out to the top, although it gets through the defender. And it's able to be saved by Mikey Lopez. Escalante trying to make the turn back inside, conceded possession. Jerry Van Avik. A little operating space as he puts it over the top in the direction of Antoine Hopino. Nice job by Cochran to get back. Going stride for stride with Hopino to return to Restrepo. King settling on the ball, getting pressure over there from Casipoli over on that left side. Luis Felipe in the midfield, Van Avik. Van Avik turns the ball over to Charlie Ward, sends it upfield, Omar Gordon attacking Jan Jiggin. Gordon in the area, tries to get a shot off block. Gordon, again, opportunities. He goes down. It'll be a corner for San Antonio FC, awarded by Farhad Adko.
And another great moment from Omar Gordon, something we've been seeing. We didn't see much last week, but we've been seeing here of late, where him really taking the space in front of him and being willing to run at those isolated defenders. He does a good job of just pressing the issue. A little unfortunate as he cut into the left-hand side. It was well defended, but stayed with it. But again, a moment that's great for Omar to start to build his confidence and build his form within this match. Again, need to get some more numbers in and around him to be able to combine.
It may be a long night for the 23-year-old Thomas Janjigian. He's one of 8 returnees to this Reno 1868 squad. Deep ball into the box is headed out of danger there. Another throw in here for San Antonio FC. As we cross into the 12th minute of the match early on, no score. Darren Powell, overall record of 32, 18, and 24. He did another 5K earlier today in his run with Darren. San Antonio FC has pushed their way up the table over the last couple of weeks, sitting a tie for 8th with Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC, who they have the other big match of the night tonight as they're taking on St. Louis. Or rather Fresno, beg your pardon. Those teams separated by just 1 point. Darnell King trying to make the run, but can't get on the end of the ball. And at least for San Antonio FC here over the last few minutes, Lance, a little more purpose on the attack and finding a little more success out wide.
Absolutely. You're starting to see both Cochran and King working their way up the touchlines and incorporating themselves into the attack for SAFC, something that I think SAFC really needs. They need that width. They need those overloads in those wide spaces. And to your point, they're starting to have a little bit of success, and they're sustaining some pressure on Reno over these last few minutes of the match, something that they need to do. They need to give that back line a little bit of a break to reorganize and regroup and not be constantly in defending or recovery mode. And you see that organization take place, really both King and Cochran tucking back into that line of 3, making it a line of 5.
As Reno works it free, possession forward, Rashanda will step up. Leaves the ball away, back outside. King, and under the touchline, Gordon stripped, and Reno is able to come back on the ball. Across to Zach Carroll. And going out wide is Richards here as Carroll plays it upfield. Under the return, ball gets past him, and Marcinkowski will come out to get it. Zach Carroll, former second-round draft choice of the New York Red Bulls, back in the 2016 MLS Super Draft. Luis Felipe back on the ball. And now upfield on the left side, Casipoli out to Duke Lacroix. A lot of numbers upfield for San Antonio FC. You see that 5 in the backlance that you referred to a moment ago, and certainly trying to change the point of attack for 1868 FC here, and they're going to get an opportunity on the advantage. Mafeka, as he'll drive into the corner of the box, makes his man miss. Mafeka puts it wide of frame as Hedrick went down trying to go for the block and got Mafeka on his wrong foot, and he sent it well wide of goal.
Yeah, just as he cut inside there, really had a decent look and tried to use the outside of his left boot there to bend it in the far corner. Didn't really catch it very well. But one of the things, again, that we see recurring, so that 4 attacking players for Reno creating that moment versus 6 defensive players for SAFC. So plenty of numerical advantage there, but there has to be more of a sense of purpose in how they defend and making sure that they're getting someone out to pressure the ball and players are tucking underneath and taking good shape and then taking some of those passing lanes away. 4 players should not be able to create open looks on goal against 6.
Escalante creates the turnover. Ezelando stumbled. Cesar able to win possession back though inside the area, knocked away from him. Will pop out to Hopino. Charlie Ward coming back on the ball and returning to Cyprian Hedrick. Hedrick had 8 blocks Saturday night against Sacramento. Part of a 15-block effort by San Antonio FC. Just a fantastic display of defense. Charlie Ward Gordon sees it through. Here's Elizondo trying to open up, unsuccessful, and then a little miscommunication to the box there by the Reno defense, but Marcinkowski able to get the possession.
And Elizondo liked what he saw there because he had Escalante a part of that attack. Because Cochran's pushing higher, it's allowing Escalante to push even further higher and inside and giving him that additional support. So when the ball comes into the box there for Elizondo, he's got some players to try to work with. Just a little bit of a miscommunication, but you like to see that in terms of creating those numbers in the attacking 18-yard box.
Van Avik makes the run on the ball from Richards. Felix send it out of play.
Great movement from Charlie Ward. A little touch through from Omar Gordon, and then Elizondo is just trying to float it into that space for someone to step onto. No one there, unfortunate for SAFC.
Mafeka. Restrepo comes up with it after Van Avik let it go through. Mafeka there with a strike from San Antonio FC. And Omar Gordon unable to maintain possession. Difference for me too though, Lance, is tonight where it felt like San Antonio FC was just hemmed in and just accepting waves and waves of pressure. They've had more counterpunch tonight when those pressure moments come in from 1868.
Well, defensively, when you're working so hard to try to win it back and you're covering spaces and you're recovering and you're getting over to support one another, when you win the ball back, it's so important that you connect that first pass. And last week, very rarely were we seeing them in that transition from winning the ball back to now trying to build an attack where we're seeing any kind of connected pass. And so that first pass, if you can beat pressure, beat a couple of players, beat that first line, now you're able to play with some time and space, and you can start to build. That takes a lot of pressure off defensively, which, as I said last week, they were not able to do very consistently at all. And here you see a couple of moments, and these spaces in midfield opening up to them.
Elizondo gets it out wide. Here's Cochran. Escalante can't get to the end of that delivery. Lopez with it back though in space. Back out wide, Cochran.
Yeah, you better watch out over there, James.
Felix returning to Charlie Ward. In the spot you would normally see Pekka in. Charlie Ward though, great pedigree, not only with his time in Rio Grande Valley, but as a product of the Stoke City Academy, the English Premier League. Talking to Darren Powell about Charlie Ward, he believes that once him and Pekka can find some chemistry together, that's going to make San Antonio FC that much better in the midfield. But Charlie Ward still needs to get those minutes underneath him, having not played at all in the first couple of months of the season. Lopez chips it into the area. Elizondo, can he run it down? He can. Puts it back into the area of the 6-yard box. Marcinkowski was there to gobble it up.
Some good sustained possession. You're going to see Mikey Lopez here just lift the ball in. A vertical ball, tough one for Cesar Elizondo to run onto just because of the limited amount of space behind that back line. But again, you like the movement, you like the idea of moving forward and giving forward options for players in midfield to be able to play to.
Replay on after some contact between Hopino and Cochran. Here's an opportunity of Masovsky. That's blocked out of play. And another corner for Reno, their second of the evening.
And that last time, Masovsky doing a nice job of coming back, finding the ball, turning inside, and finding the SAFC defenders really dropping off and allowing him that space. And I made the mention of it earlier where 4 Reno attacking players were creating open scoring opportunities among 6 defenders, and it's because those defenders are stepping out and getting pressure to the ball.
Service to the near post. Ryan Felix will head it away, sending Omar Gordon off to the races. as it goes 1 against 3 on the right side. Charlie Ward trying to join in on the left side, and Duplaqua will knock it away. It'll result in the corner here for San Antonio FC.
Good second defender work there from Lacroix on that transition and that counter from Omar Gordon. Unfortunately, the touch takes it out of the end line for a corner. But we're seeing more and more of what started as really committing numbers forward for Reno to having to take those numbers back and defend now. And that's important for SAFC to build themselves into this match.
Right-footed in-swinger Omar Gordon. 3 goals in his last 4 USL matches. Whips this into the near post. That's defended out of the area. Send Charlie Ward back on the ball. Ward will switch the play back out wide. Cyprian Hedrick, who was in the box looking to get underneath that service from Gordon, will take it out there along with Elizondo.
Decision from Elizondo there to open up, go out the other side. Been impressed with Charlie Ward. You were talking about him earlier. He's done a nice job early on tonight for SAFC of coming and finding the ball and then keeping it, playing that next pass, not just coming and getting, but playing that next pass in behind, putting defenders out of play. And that's really helping San Antonio generate some sustained possession and then ultimately that pressure in their final third. Didn't see that much of last week.
Free kick coming up for San Antonio after the foul against Omar Gordon. Now 2 watching him there. It was Van Avik who took him down.
That time Van Avik coming across to give Lacroix a little bit of help. Tough to defend Omar Gordon 1 versus 1 in those channels. He recognized that. But then him himself was beaten off the dribble and decided not to allow it to continue. 1 numbers forward for SAFC and another set piece opportunity.
There's Escalante over the ball. 5 in the box for San Antonio FC. Escalante gets this through, but Casipoli is there to knock it aside. Elizondo able to take it back away from Casipoli. Escalante whips it back to the top of the area, knocked aside. San Antonio FC will maintain possession. Darnell King whips it there to the near side post, but good job by Reno defensively. San Antonio FC, to your point, Lance, getting those numbers forward, but Reno defensively has come back and done a real nice job really eliminating any solid scoring opportunities.
Well, interestingly, if you go back to the first 10 minutes of the match, you saw SAFC conceding that attacking half and really dropping back and letting Reno play. And as the game has evolved here, you're starting to see San Antonio build that possession, and not by design as Reno dropping in, but they're being forced to. They can't get the ball back, they can't sustain any kind of build or attack. And so they found themselves in a position of having to defend and defend and defend, something that's never too fun to do for too long.
Especially for a team like Reno, who likes to get upfield and score. And this season, 1868 has scored 20 times. They're 12th in the USL. San Antonio FC enters the night tied for 25th in total offense, 14 goals, but they are a +1 in goal differential as they're tied for 5th in the league in goals conceded. Richards, as Reno trying to build a little bit here. Mafeka. As he switches it across Van Avik, edge of the box. Van Avik ups this one easily in on Restrepo. Nice job of defending there by San Antonio FC after Mafeka got it where he wanted there at the top of the box, put it out wide, but from that point on, not much doing there for Jerry Van Avik.
And Mafeka continues to float into those spaces just in front of the SAFC back line, and he's able to pick players out again because there's no pressure there. So what's happened is you've got a back line of 5 with King and Cochran tucking into the central 3, and then there's no presence of central midfield in terms of defensive holding players there for SAFC to manage Mafeka floating in those spaces. So that's something they're going to have to solve either by pressing one of their central 3 onto him or bringing a central midfielder back. Really the ideal scenario there is one of the central defenders, the 3 of them, they're pocketed centrally. They're going to have to step out and pressure Mafeka, not allow him those open spaces to be able to get his head up and either serve or finish.
Felix Elizondo looking for Cochran. Got it through Cochran. Whips it to the top of the 6. Escalante! And a good save on the pitch from Arsikowski.
SAFC fans love to see Cochran get up that left-hand side. That's normally the result that you get, is a decent service being played in there. Escalante just not able to connect. A great little run around the outside, bending himself in behind that outside defender, and then floating that ball across the 6 with a little bit of pace. Escalante should have done better. He wishes he had that back to do better. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough to beat the keeper.
Advantage here after Mafeka was brought down for Reno. Out wide, Lacroix.
That was better from Rochandle there that last time, coming out and defending Mafeka, not allowing him the time and space.
Lopez. Our next whistle will get our first of 2 hydration breaks that are scheduled tonight because of the conditions. A little touch there from Mafeka, who's brought down, and that'll set up the free kick.
Again there, Ryan Rochandle recognizing that Mafeka is finding that space. A little bit overzealous there that last time in the tackle. Probably wishes he hadn't given up that free kick there, but he's letting Mafeka know, hey, listen, you've been able to find that space through the first 26 minutes of the match here. I'm on to you, I figured it out, I'm gonna step out. And then at that point, you've got to get Cyprian Hedrick and Ryan Felix then to tuck in underneath Rochandle, not to allow that space centrally for attacking runs from Reno. But those last 2 times, Ryan Rochandle's really gone out and let him know that he's not going to have that time that he had early on.
Van Avik and Mafeka over the ball here. Mafeka, the footed striker, Van Avik with a right boot. San Antonio FC wall inside the box. 27th minute. Van Avik off the crossbar and in, and it's 1-0. Reno 1868 on the goal by Jerry Van Avik, his 3rd of the season.
Really well taken free kick by Van Avik there. He got right through the top of the ball and was able to get it up and down over the wall there and just tuck it underneath to the bottom side of the crossbar. Restrepo doing everything he can to get across and try to keep it out. And unfortunately, the first ball gets by him and then comes down right off his back into the back of the net. Not the way you want to go into your hydration break here if you're SAFC, but a great moment for Reno to reestablish themselves in this match after having started off the dominant force and then conceding quite a bit of space and time and possession, and then being able now to get that go-ahead goal here on the road 27 minutes in.
So Jerry Van Avik in the 27th minute scores for the 2nd time this year against San Antonio FC, and he opened the scoring the last time these teams met back in May in Nevada. And they got a 2nd goal from Mo Chow in the 2nd half. Reno the 2-1 victory that night. San Antonio FC Soccer on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyattoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. Reno's 2-1 lifetime against San Antonio FC after their victory earlier this season. They also beat San Antonio 2-0 back in Reno last August. But here in the low match Toyota Field, which was very early in the season a year ago, April the 15th, San Antonio FC earning their most decisive victory of the season at home, 4-0 over Reno 1868 FC. And again, this was a Reno team that had 75 goals a year ago to shatter the USL record for most goals in a single calendar season. Antoine Hopino had 12 of them a year ago for Reno. So San Antonio FC concedes the opening goal for the 10th time this season.
I was just going to reference being a comfortably uncomfortable position for SAFC, something they've gotten far too used to this season.
San Antonio FC, an all-time record of 19 wins, 13 draws, just 6 losses in USL play here at Toyota Field. And even those moments where it seems like, for example, last Saturday night, or even a few Saturdays ago against Portland, when it looked like San Antonio FC was going to end up on the wrong end of a result, they find a way to get it done. They've always found a way to get it done here at home.
And there's a lot to be said for that. You know, it's not always about playing the prettiest football or making things look so attractive. Ultimately, in a league table, it's about getting results. It's ultimately about getting points, collecting points throughout the season. And so they've found a way through the first third of the season and some of these matches to come from behind to find a way to get a result. And those are the types of things that you carry on through the season as you continue to build and improve your quality of play, your standard of play. You also take with you those characteristics of figuring it out, finding ways to get results. A whole lot to be said for that.
And you talk about soccer kind of being a funny game, whereas last week San Antonio FC found a way to win on a night where Sacramento, the numbers totally benefited them. Tonight, San Antonio FC probably feels a lot better about their play so far, and yet they're down 1-0. And Reno 1868 with a throw in here as Lacroix will come over to take it after King directed it out.
Yeah, you think last week San Antonio FC really for the majority of the match were holding somewhere around 30% possession. This week almost doubling that, but find themselves down a goal.
Mafeka, deep cross. And this will roll out. Was talking earlier, I didn't get a chance to finish the story on Darren Powell, who again earlier today ran his third 5K of the season, and he's doing something this year, in case you don't know, to raise awareness for Parkinson's disease. His father suffers from Parkinson's, and Darren Powell is running a series, 5 of them, of 5 5Ks over the course of the year to raise awareness for Parkinson's disease, and he's calling them the Run with Darren. San Antonio FC and the entire supporters and fans have really gotten behind him in doing so, and we wish Darren nothing but the best as he continues to do this. A great initiative by Darren, who usually has a pre-match run every Saturday anyway, putting a little more meaning behind it now. Mafeka with the turn. Mazovsky out wide. Van Avik the goal scorer inside the box. Van Avik gives it a go on frame. Restrepo there for the save. Quickly upfield in Omar Gordon's direction. Gordon going to run this down out wide on the left side. He'll attack on Carroll here. Gordon, edge of the box, brought down right on the edge of the box. And it'll end up being a foul on Gordon. There was no foul called on Carroll, and then a retaliatory foul called on Gordon, and the fans not happy with the call.
Yeah, a fantastic delivery from Diego Restrepo to initiate that counter and create that situation for Omar Gordon. Did a nice job to come in here on this right foot and try to turn out of that pressure. And it wasn't a foul they called him for, but as he brought that ball in with his hand, referee calling him for that.
Richards, Escalante. San Antonio FC awarded the ball. 33rd minute, about to move into the 34th here at Toyota Field. Reno 1868 FC with the opening goal from Jerry Van Avik. In the 27th minute, Van Avik with his 11th goal all-time in USL play. This tonight being his 43rd USL match, 42nd goal all-time in 161 career matches for the 26-year-old, the native of the Netherlands. We mentioned at the top that Reno has a lot of players up front who can not only put the ball on frame, put the ball on the back of the net. And we've seen Van Avik already do that here early. Escalante now for San Antonio FC. Charlie Ward. Elizondo coming back as he gives to Cyprian Hedrick. And it's King out wide.
Haven't seen Darnell too much in possession this first half. Trying to play himself back in after being out last week due to cautions.
Cochran. San Antonio FC with a little good build-up here now from the back of Cyprian Hedrick. Work it out wide for King once again. King and Elizondo. Elizondo, edge of the box. Gordon, nice little back touch inside the area. Gordon tried to slip one through, well defended there. The ball, however, is stripped and comes back out top here for Escalante. Escalante tried to play off the defender, but instead concedes possession.
Zach Carroll proven to be very difficult to get by in those tight spaces. Big, strong, athletic central defender, not giving any space away.
6'3", 185 pounds. Grand Blanc, Michigan is Zach Carroll. Definitely a presence out there. You can see wearing number 5 for Reno. Mikey Lopez unable to keep it in play. 1868 FC. This has once again played another very good road half. 3 wins of their 8 matches on the road this season. 5 have resulted in draws, but they have not lost a match on the road since September 16th of last season. And they have not lost in general since April 14th of this year. Openo. Attacking here on Cochran. Openo delivers. Mafeka! The opportunity that's blocked there by Rochandel. Settled down by Richards, but San Antonio FC will defend it out of the area. Luis Felipe will return it back. Janjigian will play it out wide. Lacroix for Jerry Van Avik. Lacroix with the overlapping run. Casipoli from distance here with Luis Felipe in the midfield. Richards. As he was looking for Mazovsky, the ball by him. San Antonio FC able to limit the opportunities after that build-up from Reno. Quickly trying to play the long ball there in Gordon's direction was Mikey Lopez, but again, there's Zach Carroll. He's up to the challenge. Not catching him as much off guard on the long balls as San Antonio FC was earlier on in the match. Van Avik. As he runs against Lopez there, will earn a throw-in.
The important recognition as you continue to try to play those balls in behind and stretch those back lines. When they become predictable and they start to tune into that and they begin to manage it as Reno have, SAFC are going to have to find those underneath services, those shorter balls, those $5 and $10 balls instead of always looking for that $1 million ball. And it's building those 5s and 10s that ultimately are going to get you into and around the face of goal. And so that adjustment will have to be made here as they continue on.
You sound like a good investor. Can't win the lottery, but you can build it up. Lacroix. Defended by San Antonio. This is going to pop down here. Nice delivery by Van Avik. Top of the area is Mafeka! Off the bar. Rebound chance off the other bar. 2 opportunities off the post. For Reno, 1868. Mafeka with a first try. And Van Avik nearly made it 2.
Mafeka continuing to find that space underneath that SAFC back line. Really a nicely taken ball there off the inside of the far post. Had beaten Restrepo.
2 posts for Reno after Van Avik hit the crossbar on his goal earlier on this half.
And that continues to be the issue in terms of Reno creating chances, is they're doing most of it in those spaces right along the edge of the top of the D where Mafeka's finding those spaces. I mentioned earlier Rochandel was doing a nice job of coming out and picking him up. Mafeka's wisened up to that, and now he's finding spaces either side of Rochandel that nobody else is stepping into. So that's just part of the organization, part of the discipline of a back 3 who have to figure out who's going to step and who's going to drop and cover underneath.
Gordon makes the turn there on the delivery. 3 collapse on him, but he's able to break free. Omar in the box. Omar, what a move! Omar can't finish. Great save with the left foot there by Marcinkowski.
Really a fantastic sequence there from Omar Gordon. But as you said, Marcinkowski more than up to the challenge. Omar does such a nice job, again, continuing to put pressure on those Reno backline players, creating himself some space there in the 18-yard box. And that was destined for the far corner.
Cochran along the byline. Gets this one through, but good recovery by Janjigian inside the box. And Reno quickly on the counter. Openo As Van Avik makes the run upfield along with Masovsky. Kasipoli, pressure with Charlie Ward coming, and well done there by Reno to keep it moving. And then letting it ride out was Richards here, and Elizondo then is brought down by Richards as he was trying to quickly get the throw in, and the caution will go up here on Brent Richards. We'll see.
Bit of theatrics there from Cesar Elizondo, but certainly a bit of extracurricular leading up to that from Brent Richards.
And a yellow against Richards here in the 41st minute.
Definitely an attempted recovery from a silly mistake there from Brent Richards. Just took his eye off the ball, saw it go past him, and knew he couldn't allow a quick throw because he was already caught out.
That is only the 14th yellow card this season against 1868 FC, the fewest in USL play. Just to put that in perspective, San Antonio FC coming into tonight's match, 31 yellow cards, and they've only played 13 matches. So you don't see necessarily chippiness or unnecessary play from Reno all that often this year. San Antonio FC earns themselves a free kick and a set piece here late in the first half. Escalante will take it. Numbers forward here for San Antonio inside the 18-yard box. Instead, back Cochran now, who will run upfield. Cochran chips it forward, but no one able to get on the end of it there.
I don't love that decision from Escalante to play into Cochran there. He's got everyone forward, including probably five of his five backline members in the attacking 18-yard box. It's a great opportunity to pull the ball in behind that back line, drop it just past the penalty spot, and allow your attacking players to go up and try to get on the end of it and create something there.
Gordon has two collapse on him. And as good Lance as Omar Gordon is, and man has he been good here as of late, opposing defenses are certainly taking notice and collapsing, and it's so hard to try to go 1v2 every single time upfield.
It is, and that's one element in terms of critiquing the SAFC attack is just not getting enough numbers in and around the ball in the final 20 yards of the field. It's one thing to have the willingness and desire to run at defenders in 1-versus-1 situations, but better than that is to be able to combine around them, and you have to get numbers around that attacking player, the player in possession of the ball. If nothing else, just to overload spaces and draw defenders out of where they feel comfortable.
Good possession from Charlie Ward here, back to Ryan Rashandel. Closing minutes here of the first half. San Antonio FC down 1-0 on a goal by Van Avik in the 27th minute off a set piece. Cyprian Hedrick delivers this one into the box. And they'll get over Omar Gordon. And back to your point about the last set piece for San Antonio from Escalante. He's one of their better service players on those set pieces. You know, obviously, you want to take advantage of that when you get those opportunities, especially late in the half.
Yeah, if you go back and look at that particular opportunity and the position on the field he was in out here along the left side of touchline, and his ability to whip a ball in there with his left foot, to get it, to bend it onto frame and then back away from the goalkeeper for attacking runners to get on the end of, that's a great scoring opportunity. And to elect to play it laterally to another defender who really is not in as good a position to be able to serve that ball into the box, really is a squandered opportunity. When you're down 1-0 and you're 40 minutes into the match and you want to try to get one back, you've got to take those opportunities and be opportunistic there.
Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, go to www.selectsportamerica.com to receive free shipping on orders over $50. Anya Rosales will chat with Darren Powell at halftime here as he heads off the field. San Antonio FC finding themselves down 1 here, trying to get that back at the end of the first half.
Good play again from Charlie Ward there, coming across to get it and being able to change the point of the attack. Finding Darnell King out on that right-hand side, something, as we said earlier, we haven't seen a whole lot this first 45 minutes. Certainly haven't seen enough of Darnell King getting into the attack.
Elizondo. Cochran didn't make the run. Elizondo was anticipating him to. And instead, here's a counter opportunity for Mazovsky. He tries to send one through Hedrick. Hedrick was able to knock it down before it got out wide to Van Avik. San Antonio FC regrouping here in the midfield. Elizondo Scoring his first goal of the season last week, his 9th goal with San Antonio FC. For Mikey Lopez now. I'm going to go back to Escalante. Good anticipation there by Richards. And Mafeka will play it forward. And Van Avik brought down by Hedrick, but well, a foul will be called on Sip. And Reno 1868 awarded the free kick.
Really a nice clip ball there.
Great touch by Mafeka. Lacroix. Janjigian. 2 minutes of added time here at the end of the first half. Luis Felipe up front with Casipoli. Out wide, here's Richards. Richards turning back to the inside, trying to get it back to Hopino. Hopino with the challenge there. And San Antonio FC awarded the free kick. We're really trying to get Antoine Hopino going, Lance. He's got 5 assists on the season, but a year after scoring 12 goals for Reno, he's still looking for his first this year.
Yeah, he's a talented player, and you can tell every time the ball gets near him that he's on the cusp of creating something. He just hasn't been able to find that form as of yet, but he's certainly not lost the danger, not lost his capability, and is certainly a player that oppositions have to manage in their preparation and their scouting report, and obviously within the game itself.
69 appearances in Major League Soccer for the 27-year-old from Paris, France. 7 goals for Antoine Hopino in Major League Soccer. Rochandel switches the play across there. Charlie Ward with a good touch to take it away. Upfield opportunity just wide of goal for Darnell King.
And really not a good decision from Ryan Rochandel that ultimately worked out well for them. Good little ball inside for Darnell King.
I'd take it a deflection. I think that's what Darnell King was perhaps arguing about.
He was certainly asking for it and probably wasn't wrong. But again, you see the integration there. Charlie Ward getting forward. Darnell King able to slip inside and find that little seam. Things that, because of the commitment of numbers forward, they're able to find more of those seams than they have been here in the last couple of weeks. Now, if they can just be collectively more mobile in those spaces, opportunities are going to continue to abound for them. Good example there. Really one player in advance of the ball who's making a positive movement while the remaining players up higher are really relatively stagnant. Luis Felipe then again with a nice bit of technique.
Halftime here at Toyota Field. Reno on top 1-0. Anya Rosales is down on the field with Darren Powell.
Thanks, Dan. Coach, going down 1-0 into half, what adjustments need to be made going into the second half?
I think we have to work out how we're going to stop them playing in our first initial press, and then obviously when we get the ball, then we need to take care of it a little bit better. We still created opportunities throughout the game, and then we just need to take full advantage of that when we have them.
All right, thanks, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Anya. San Antonio FC down 1-0 after the goal by Jerry Van Avik in the 27th minute. We'll be back on the other side, our halftime from Toyota Field here on Fox Sports Southwest.
This Bud's for the dream and the people bold enough to pursue it. For those who come from nothing and rise to something. It's for those who take everything this country has to offer and make it their own.
Little ideas can turn into big dreams. Big dreams require careful planning and the right partner. A partner dedicated to helping you take care of your employees, protect your business, and plan for the future. It's sometimes overwhelming. It's often exciting. It's your story, and we can help. SWBC.
There's a whole secret society out there that craves life beyond the civilized world. If you know what we're talking about, you're in. Equipped with Toyota Safety Sense Standard, the virtually indestructible new 2018 Tundra and Tacoma.
Right now, qualified buyers get 0% APR financing for 60 months, plus a $2,000 special edition bonus on a new 2018 Tundra Crewmax Special Edition. Toyota, let's go places.
Now Silva! Oh my goodness! What a goal! Mateo Silva!
Amadou Diop. Jason Johnson! You gotta be kidding me! An otherworldly goal from JJ! 2-2 at home. Here the young season and a golazo from Manu Ledesma.
Bourgeois got ahead to it. They score! Surely that's the winner! It's Ropapa Mensah!
For Cheney and Johnson! Jamal Johnson does it again! And a goal! And an equalizer! Big save by John McCarthy. Buffon punched away Ranjitsingh. On Sparrow again. Wow. What a save. Connor Sparrow shot from distance. And Cochran with that brilliant effort. My goodness.
It's Jones saved by Tambakis.
Hernandez can take it. Big save. Dykstra. Near post. Barino, another huge save. On the assets. Great save. Restrepo.
Lomas got ahead to it, and Matt Pickens makes the save.
Available, looking for Lomas. Oh! Bound! North Carolina FC!
On to the right, Smith. Into the box. Headed past McCarthy, and there it is!
Steps, strikes, and scores.
Benjamar headed goal! Penesi!
This one will drop to Miller. Miller tie!
Hi, sports fans. I'm Jeff Davis, the San Antonio lawyer that's here for you. Some of you might be watching this game injured after a terrible accident. Did you suffer broken bones or have to have surgery? I want you to know that Davis Law Firm is here for you. And if you call us and you need us, we'll come to you during this game. And then we'll fight for justice and demand the cash settlement you deserve. Call me at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. Now, before we go back to the game, don't forget, there's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chicken biscuits made fresh daily for breakfast.
Now that's smart.
They start so small, but bring big life changes. They are now your entire world. And that's why buying a home, protecting your assets, and setting up your family's future requires the right plan. Your cargo is precious, and your journey is just beginning. It's your story, and we can help. SWBC.
One 0 Reno with the lead over San Antonio FC. Halftime here at the Toyota Field. Welcome back upstairs to the broadcast booth along with Lance Key and Anya Rosales. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us here on this Saturday evening. Lance, if you compare tonight with last Saturday against Sacramento, better for San Antonio FC in the fact that they're not playing behind the ball as much as we saw last Saturday night. That being said, their attack still has to find a way to find the channels to get through to break through 1868 in the second half.
Absolutely. We're seeing glimpses and moments of numbers getting forward in the final third of the field, but it's not just a matter of having numbers. It's not a product of just getting bodies into the final third. There has to be some collaboration. They've got to be a little bit more committed to moving for the player in possession of the ball, really looking to combine in that final 20 yards of the field in order to get the best looks. I would say thus far, certainly a higher level of play from last week to this week. Reno still getting the better of the chances.
And Reno with 11 shots in that first half. We'll take a look at the numbers in just a moment. Here are the first half highlights. Some early pressure from Reno that was defended by San Antonio FC before Van Avik broke through.
Absolutely. Really, they came out the aggressor, as you said. They were dictating the rhythm of the game. And then as the game went on, SAFC started to find themselves finding a little bit of comfort in the ball, finding a little bit of comfort within their shape. Unfortunately, giving away a free kick, and a really well-taken free kick at that. Just tucked it under the crossbar there, did Van Avik, and just Restrepo wasn't able to do anything to keep it out. Really no fault of his own, just a really well-taken free kick.
And what was not shown, two posts hit later in the half from Mafeka and Van Avik. Here are the look at the first half numbers. There are the 11 shots for Reno, Lance. Sacramento with 37 of them last week. Better in possession, though, for San Antonio FC. They were able to control the middle of the field much better in the first half than they were last week.
They really are controlling much of the rhythm of the game thus far. The one thing that they have to do a more effective job at is when they're defending, and there are fewer moments than they were having last week, but when they're defending, they're dropping so many players underneath and to the edge of their 18-yard box and not really getting pressure out to the ball. And that's where Mafeka's been fantastic. Luis Felipe has been very good in possession of the ball because they aren't getting pressure onto those players and allowing them really to pick them apart with passes and even shooting opportunities.
We'll see what adjustments both coaches make coming up for the second half. Our halftime continues from Toyota Field. Members of the military always welcome at Toyota Field every time.
When it needs to be ultra exciting, high flying, non-stop action, San Antonio FC Soccer's got you covered. When it needs to be high performing, hard working, high tech, super safe, built for comfort, and surprisingly affordable, Holt Cat has got you covered. With best-in-class cat heavy equipment, engines, generators, and more, plus legendary service and support, and the largest parts inventory and distribution network in Texas. Kick it into high gear with Holt Cat.
Corner stores are proudly becoming Circle K, home of the Polar Pop Cup. That's right, you can enjoy any size Polar Pop Cup filled to the brim with your favorite flavor for just 79 cents at any corner store. Nothing stays cold longer, and the Polar Pop Cup is the best way to quench your thirst. Stay refreshed all day long for just 79 cents. Corner store, proudly becoming Circle K.
Welcome to the Brown Ranch in Beeville, Texas, where 5 generations of the Brown family have raised cattle since 1924. We're dedicated to doing things the old-fashioned way, allowing cattle to graze freely, and we handle our cattle horseback to minimize stress.
At HEB, we love working with local Texas ranchers like the Brown family. They do things right and always put quality first, which is one of the reasons why we're the #1 beef seller in Texas.
This is the local Texas Beef Department at HEB. No store does more than my HEB.
Players returning to the field. San Antonio FC down 1-0 to Reno 1868 FC. On another Saturday night, Week 15 in the USL, we take a look at scores around the rest of the Western Conference here this evening. The big matchup tonight is in Fresno, or is in Colorado Springs, rather. Colorado Springs taking on Fresno FC, scoreless there early. You see halftime, no score between OKC Energy and LA Galaxy 2. The same, no score at halftime between Rio Grande Valley, Phoenix Rising later tonight. Las Vegas and Tulsa, Sacramento and St. Louis are the West Coast matchups later on. We'll take a break. Second half kick coming up when we return to Toyota Field after this.
Hi, sports fans. I'm Jeff Davis, the San Antonio lawyer that's here for you. Some of you might be watching this game injured after a terrible accident. Did you suffer broken bones or have to have surgery? I want you to know that Davis Law Firm is here for you. And if you call us and you need us, we'll come to you during this game. And then we'll fight for justice and demand the cash settlement you deserve. Call me at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. Now, before we go back to the game, don't forget, there's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chicken biscuits made fresh daily for breakfast.
Now that's smart.
Start of the second half at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC Soccer on Fox Sports Southwest, brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go down on the field, check in with Anya Rosales as we begin the second half. Anya, of course, San Antonio FC trying to play through Omar Gordon. It's been successful. How can they continue to get Omar open up in those spaces on the left side?
That's right, Dan. Gordon's been really successful up top for SAFC in the last couple games for the club. He's been a player who's really made things happen when the teams needed him most. And talking to him in post-game interviews, he's always said, I'm just hungry. I know I can be the difference maker. And that's the key player that they need to find in times like this. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Anya. And Omar earns the possession foul here. And a potentially dangerous free kick for San Antonio FC in the opening minute of the second half. They're going to go quickly here. Charlie Ward, though, not with the best take. Wide of frame. Good idea maybe by San Antonio FC trying to catch Reno off guard early in the half, but Charlie Ward puts it wide.
Yeah, I like the idea of the quick restart just as the second half begins. A little bit of sharpness from SAFC out of the locker room. And Omar Gordon right on cue. Getting possession, getting turned, and being brought down for an attacking free kick for SAFC. The reality is we're going to continue to see Omar be that target playing forward, even though oftentimes he's coming in off this right-hand side, primarily because, you know, at the halftime they talked about body language. If you read Omar Gordon's body language throughout the course of a match, you very quickly recognize he wants the ball all the time. And those are the types of players that are going to get the ball. Those are the things that other players are going to have to start to emulate and really start to demand more of the ball, certainly going forward.
Luis Felipe, Janjigian.
And already you see a shift here in terms of the shape from the back line, really looking at a traditional 4-back for SAFC. Ryan Rashandle pushing into midfield, probably recognizing that they are losing a little bit of that just because of the numerical advantage there.
Van Avik, corner of the box, attacks here on Cochran. Slips one through. That will be defended away by San Antonio FC. Reno has won the last 2 between these clubs all time, trying to make it 3 in a row, trying to end San Antonio FC's bid for a perfect 3-match homestand. It's technically been a 4-match homestand when you include the Open Cup game against FC Dallas, which FC Dallas did win. But in USL play, San Antonio FC has been perfect here at home this month and against really good competition when you consider T2 coming in as really having a fine year atop the Western Conference. Sacramento has been outstanding all season, and here's Reno once again pushing up the table and in a position that San Antonio FC wants to be in at the end of the night if they can find a way to take 3 points.
Absolutely, an important time, I think, during the season for SAFC, not having the start they would have hoped for, not really measuring up, if you will, to last season's campaign and the start they had then, and to be able to play at home and to get some of these big, important 3 points against teams on the top of the table, it's important. Very important for the players, it's important for the season, it's important for the club.
And one of the things, Lance, that for San Antonio FC, the reason they've only played 13 games, they haven't had a week so far this year where they've played multiple matches in a week, but coming up later in July, later in August, they're going to see 3 matches over a stretch of 7 days, and that's going to quickly catch up here, especially in the hot summer months.
Yeah, I don't think it gets cooler through July and August.
No, it does not. Might get a little drier. Not be as oppressive as it's been out there for much of the night. Heat index is well into the triple digits. Dew points in the 70s. I don't major in meteorology, Lance, but I always see when that dew point is in 70. Oppressive is the word they use.
I'm learning a lot from you about meteorology. So
I tell my wife I often minor in meteorology. Here's Duke Lacroix. Is it a go? That's blocked away. Darnell King can get around the defense. San Antonio FC on the counter. Cesar Elizondo, a little space, pushing forward. Nice ball through Escalante. He stays with the ball as Marcinkowski goes down. Marcinkowski able to come back under it. It was going to be a foul anyway on Escalante. But a good little bit of creativity there through the middle of the field this time, Lance, for San Antonio FC, setting up that chance for Jose Escalante.
That was a great, really a fantastic run from Jose Escalante from that left-hand side across that back line. And a well-weighted ball from Cesar Elizondo. Marcinkowski just did a good job of managing it and staying with it. As did Escalante. He was just bested by Marcinkowski. And one of the things, I mentioned this just a second ago, you see a shift in how SAFC have come out of the locker room in terms of how they're playing here, really looking at a 4-back. And what's interesting to me, and Darren Powell must have seen something that he didn't like about the way things were going there in the first half to make that change, because they've really only recently committed to playing that 3-back. And from my vantage point through the first half, and we talked a little bit about this, we were starting to see some success and starting to see some improvement in the overall level of play and the success and the effectiveness within the rhythm of play for SAFC. So to make that change, he must have really seen something he didn't like to come out of the locker room as they have.
We'll see how that shape develops here as the half goes on, especially if San Antonio FC continues to trail moving forward to the second half. This ball's whipped into the top of the 6, parried away by Marcinkowski, and at the last moment snatches it away from Omar Gordon. A couple of good entries into the area for San Antonio FC here early on in the second half, trying to equalize and level the visitors.
Continues really to be a big space in there for Ryan Rashandle and Charlie Ward here.
Opano Good run there by Richards into the box. Richards just over frame. A little combination play between Richards and Antoine Hopino.
And a great example there. You certainly don't expect Reno to go away here in this next 45 minutes. They're going to continue to push and do what they do. They have a lot of confidence in what they do. They've obviously gotten a lot of results from their system, and they remain committed to it.
They have a pretty good striker on the bench, and Brian Brown, who scored in their match last week against Orange County, late to equalize that game, keep this unbeaten streak going for them. And he usually comes on early in the second half, sometimes at halftime, but Ian Russell obviously pleased with his starting 11, leaves them going forward, and just as I mentioned, Brian Brown steps up and gets ready, it looks like, to come on here. That'll be an advantage and a foul here for Reno. And the free kick, and Brian Brown's going to come on for the rookie Danny Mazovsky here in the 53rd minute. So Brian Brown from Jamaica played last year in Charlotte. 4 goals on the season. Has really proven himself to be a super sub, so to speak, in the USL with his ability to change the complexion of the game in the second half. Reno was down 2-0 to Orange County last week, got 2 late goals in the second half to equalize. Brian Brown responsible for one of them.
Yeah, he's a talented player, dynamic up front in that final third, in and around the 18-yard box for Reno. And Ian Russell obviously has a lot of belief in him and knows that he can bring him on here to start the second half and really get something that's critical for Reno to be able to sustain their pressure and to sustain their quality going forward.
Van Avik cutting against King to the back post, nobody there. Hopino will come over to play. As he attacks on Greg Cochran, Hopino, edge of the box, whips it to the back post, settled by Van Avik, volleyed on net and a save for Restrepo.
Yeah, good skill there from Hopino to create just enough space between him and Cochran along the end line there to get a decent service in. You already see starting to play out here with the adjustment in shape. SAFC just not having the same spaces available to them that they had in the first half, and almost a little bit frustrating for them to play out through. They're not seeing what they have been seeing.
And that's so almost ironic because they have played 4 in the back so much this year that now it looks almost unfamiliar to them a little bit here as they try to develop some offense and some attack. Rashandel.
Well, the difference really is it's not freeing up, this 4 at the back is not freeing up those wing backs quite the same way. And so what you see is those players that were in wing back positions really being pressed a little bit higher into the opposition 2 outside backs. And it just becomes a little bit more stagnant in terms of how they're playing out right now in possession than what they had available to them through the first 45 minutes, where they were a little bit more dynamic in the back third.
Not the best ball there from Hedrick, although he gets back. Mafeka brings him down, though, edge of the box, but we play on. So Hedrick able to make up for his miscue there. Meanwhile, San Antonio FC on the counter. Elizondo, good touch, Elizondo! That final touch just over goal.
Not a bad effort there from San Antonio. Probably really wasn't much on that ball or that challenge against Mafeka. A little bit of pressure there, nothing enough to draw a whistle. And then alertly transitioning forward through Ryan Rashandel, taking a lot of space. A decent first touch there from Elizondo. Just wasn't able to stay over the top of it to put it on frame.
San Antonio FC in the 57th minute, down 1-0 to Reno 1868 FC. Darren Powell has got Pekka up right now. Remember Charlie Ward appearing in just his 2nd match of the season. Played 45 minutes last week, and they're trying to build him up, and he might not have so much left in the tank here. as we go forward.
And certainly as the way this game has played out, if you look back to that first 45 minutes, lots of moments where it was transition from one 18-yard box to the other, and a lot of distance by Charlie Ward to be covered in those times. Trying to get forward to support the attack, trying to get back to be organized and attached to the back line. And on legs who don't have a lot of miles in them thus far this season, would make sense for him to step off and have Pekka step in.
Here's Ward. Some operating room in the midfield, Elizondo. Good job by Cesar, able to switch the play out wide. Omar Gordon attacking in on Lacroix. Gordon into the area, stops, Lacroix knocks it away. It'll be a corner for San Antonio FC.
It's an uncomfortable position to be in there for Lacroix. Omar picking the ball up with space to run at you. Not a whole lot of support from underneath or behind you.
Charlie Ward is off in the 58th minute. Pekka is on. So Ward extended a little bit more than he was last week, 13 additional minutes. And again, going back to my comment in the first half, Aaron Powell's envisioning a midfield of Pekka and Charlie Ward as the season builds. Gordon, very deep ball off that corner. Escalante able to track it, although all the way out of the touchline. Cochran looking in Hedrick's direction. Marcinkowski comes down with it.
Lots of these set pieces tonight for SAFC just not being struck well. That's just technique. They're not connecting well, delivering the ball where it needs to go.
Brown as he runs in on Pekka, and it's off of Pekka. It'll be a corner here for Reno. Their third coming up. Special thanks to Silver and Black Give Back, the official nonprofit of San Antonio FC, for presenting tonight's matchup. Since 1988, Silver and Black Give Back has invested more than $25 million into the community through youth sports, the Team Up Challenge, and Operation Renovation programs. To learn more about Silver and Black Give Back, visit www.sbgb.org.
And you see here they are, having had their own attacking corner, and now only just seconds later in their own defensive 18-yard box defending a corner. Just has to be better quality on these set pieces.
Good ball here, top of the sixth. Unable to bring it down, though, in the area was Opino. San Antonio FC on the counter. Gordon catches a bit of an elbow, but we play forward. It was Brian Brown who looked like the guilty party in that sequence. Farhad Dadko, our center referee, says play on.
Yeah, Brian Brown definitely comes up high with that right arm and that right elbow as he gets across. Maybe not as high as it initially looked. Probably had the inside track, to be fair.
So Pekka has come on as the first substitute for San Antonio FC in the second half. Should be noted, Lance, one player in the 18 that has not been in the 18 for a long time is Ever Guzman, who is fully healthy, has not played since April 27th in Las Vegas. And Guzman's scoring ability clearly has been missed by this group, and I got to believe he's going to find his way into the match at some point tonight.
You could certainly see that happening. The one thing that we've seen that Guzman needs is he needs quality service into the box. He does such a good job of finding spaces. Let's pause for that.
Good ball out wide of the attempt, though. Sent over frame from Escalante.
Guzman does such a great job of creating his own space in between the two central defenders. He's very dangerous. He slips off the back shoulder and finds those areas to operate in, that gets across their face to get on the end of service. If he has that good service coming in, he can be very, very dangerous. What we have not seen consistently thus far for SAFC is the quality and the consistency of that service into those areas where he operates so well.
Evers scored the opening goal in Las Vegas in the 18th minute, then seemed to pull up lame. It appeared to be a hamstring injury for Ever. He has not returned to action since, but again, he's available for selection tonight, sitting on the bench in the 18. He was excellent in practice yesterday, had a couple of great goals in the final moments of the scrimmage in training, and I think certainly opened up the eye of Darren Powell enough to say Ever's going to get his opportunity in the 18 tonight. And it's obviously in a position like this where San Antonio FC could certainly use his offensive ability. There's a good turn in here now into the box here. Slip back in the direction of Mafeka from Lacroix. That was well played by San Antonio FC and Cyprian Hedrick.
Well defended there from Cyprian Hedrick.
That was Brian Brown, rather, not Lacroix over there on the right side, who made the initial run there, was looking for Mafeka. Meanwhile, here's Hedrick. Rashandel fouled by Luis Felipe.
Rashandel bailed out there a little bit. Just lost touch with how far away that ball was from him. A little technical breakdown. He had Omar Gordon coming out this way, but Omar slipped inside really just too early. Didn't time his movement correctly. Rashandel tried to turn out of it.
San Antonio FC will earn another corner. Their 5th of the match coming up. Second substitute being used by Ian Russell. Will bring in the 23-year-old Paul Marie momentarily. He was the 12th overall pick in this past Major League Soccer Super Draft by the San Jose Earthquakes. And at Florida International, 14 goals. 14 goals, beg your pardon, in 52 games. Meanwhile, here's a set-piece opportunity for Mikey Lopez in San Antonio. Short corner played and goes off of Darnell King.
I didn't mind the idea of just getting a different server out to mix it up a little bit. Omar Gordon really not been as effective at placing the balls here tonight. Unfortunately, that placement for Mikey Lopez was probably inferior to what Gordon has been putting in. Really put Darnell King in a tough spot there on the near post. Not timed correctly, not played in at the right height. And again, another squandered opportunity for SAFC from a set piece, something they've got to be better at. Those are great scoring opportunities. You think about all the set piece opportunities that we're watching in the World Cup play and how effective they can be. A set piece goal here tonight.
And they only have one set piece goal this season, and it was almost a fluke set piece goal at that, as it came from Omar Gordon in Reno back in May. Just misplayed by the keeper, Marcinkowski, as it got around him and in. Lacroix out by the touchline. Good anticipation there from Pekka, but Janjigian keeps it going from Luis Fernandez for Zach Carroll. Opino, Richards, Casipoli. First touch from Maria. This ball's lifted over the top. Lacroix was looking in the direction, but Restrepo comes out. Well, Diego has certainly had a much easier night in terms of the attack from Reno. As two 1868 players collide, that opens it up here for Mikey Lopez. Gordon tried to whip it in. It goes off Paul Marie. San Antonio FC had numbers forward, but unable to do anything with it after the Reno players collide. Back out wide is Escalante trying to maneuver this one through. That is easily taken by Carroll. And off of Ryan Felix, who's got to go back and get it with Brian Brown on him. And it's Brown. He's able to win the ball away here from Felix. He's got Opino out wide. He's also got Paul Marie pushing forward on the left side. Moving into the direction of Marie. Marie weaves his way in, tries a strike that's blocked by Felix. Back out here, Casipoli, and his bid goes over frame.
San Antonio defenders thankful for that last attempt from Casipoli. Really kind of bailed them out. They were at a time where they were stretched. They were out of shape. Had given up some seams there centrally.
Connor Presley making his way over to the scores table as he gets set to enter the match. Carroll, Mafeka. Mafeka's been a treat to watch tonight. Luis Felipe.
So proficient, his possession, his passing's very good. His timing moving into space.
Good run by Felipe here. Better run, though, by Omar Gordon to run him down. Drives it back upfield. They get a touch on that was Elizondo. He thought Janjigian had played it with a handball, but we play on. Kasipoli over the top for Paul Marie, trying to run it down, unsuccessful. San Antonio FC will earn the goal kick. Hunter Presley is going to come on here for Jose Escalante out on that left side. He'll join Omar Gordon up top. As Connor Presley will make his 9th appearance of the season, Escalante, who they tried to get up a little bit more tonight in the different shape, try to get him going offensively. A couple of chances in the game.
Yeah, you know, I felt he was more effective out of the system they were playing in the first half. He was having a lot more space to get into. They were having more of the ball. Here in the second half, just never really able to find much of the ball. And obviously a player like Escalante, he's effective when the ball's at his feet and he's able to run at players in big open spaces.
Now, in this homestand particularly, we've seen some great moments from Jose Escalante out on that left side. Lopez gets through the defender inside the area, drops it back, and anticipated by Reno will take it away as Elizondo went down. Lopez trying to come back for the ball, but instead, here's Reno on the counter, numbers upfield, and this one slips right through Kasipoli, and San Antonio FC catches a break.
Again, not a bad little sequence to get to the edge of the box. Mikey Lopez in possession with some space in front of him. Player to his right, player to his left. It was just that indecisiveness as to do I play that ball out wide? Do I carry into the 18-yard box and really try to find some space to create my own shot?
Connor Presley's first touch for Cochran and was defended there by Carroll, but he didn't do anything, and it turns into a San Antonio FC corner.
Something you expect to see from Connor Presley straight away, looking to find options forward. Good little run from Greg Cochran. Carroll there just losing his footing a little bit clumsy in that attempt.
6th circle kick, corner kick of the match for San Antonio FC. This is a good ball deeper, but underneath it there is Reno to clear it away from danger. Gordon, nice individual effort as he gets around Marie. Defended away by Reno, and they've got, again, numbers back upfield, pushing on the counter, already up 1. Nice patience back to Mafeka from Opino. Here's Kasipoli, nice touch there. Mafeka to Brian Brown. Brown makes the turn, edge of the box, out wide. Here's Opino onside, back to Brown, 2-0. Well done, Reno 1868 FC on the second goal, and again it is Brian Brown in the second half delivering with the assist to Antoine Hopino out wide on the right side.
That was really a fantastic bit of quality collectively across the team, from Kasipoli to Mafeka to Brian Brown. Nice little movement. Mafeka that second time running that player off of Brown to give him the space. A ball out wide. Here we see that space be created by Mafeka's run. First time ball just tucked right in behind. Good movement off the ball. So Brian Brown finds it, he turns inside, he connects, and then he continues that movement into the box. Again, tonight, the difference between the attacking 18 yards for Reno versus the attacking 18 yards for SAFC is just that collaborative movement in those spaces and somebody looking to go get on the...
Brian Brown's 5th goal of the season to lead Reno 1868 FC. There's a reason they call him the super sub, Lance. He comes in and delivers, and San Antonio FC really up against it now, down 2 with 20 minutes left in the match.
Yeah, he's been everything you said he would be coming off the bench in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Dangerous going forward. You've seen his touches. He's been clean in possession. He's been dangerous with his movement. And it was his movement and Mafeka's movement that really created that goal. It was obviously a nice service in, a nice bit of build-up play, but it's intelligent movement in and around the edge of the 18-yard box. It misshapes defensive organization, it drags players out, and ultimately creates spaces to get into. Just very, very well executed from Reno.
Antoine Hopino good with his 6th assist this season. And again, Kasipoli and Mafeka all in the build-up there. Very clean tonight from Reno. I think you've mentioned that point in the 18-yard box a couple of times, but just it looks clean, it looks technical, and obviously the finish has been there.
Well, you're seeing a clear purpose in that final 18, 20 yards of the field. Collective movement, really understanding what we're trying to accomplish, what spaces we're trying to find, what areas we're trying to serve. and Reno have executed those things. Something that, as we've talked about and perhaps been a little bit critical of in terms of SAFC in the final third, is them being deliberate and really being coordinated and collaborative in their effort to create those goal-scoring opportunities. Committing numbers, committing movement. You know, one thing players often forget in the attack is that their run is what dictates the pass. So if I don't make that movement, I might not get that ball. And so what we're seeing is that movement being demonstrated by Reno and creating those dangerous opportunities, whereas SAFC just a little bit too stagnant.
Ball winds up back at the feet of Mafeka again. Richards. Luis Felipe. Carroll. I wonder now maybe if Darren Powell has another thought of Cheno Guzman's going to come on tonight here in these last 18 minutes. Now down 2. Lacroix to Paul Marie by the touchline. Marie attacking on Hedrick. Cross into the box just by Brian Brown. And it'll come back here. Mafeka gives it a go, and a good save by Restrepo. Paul Marie on the rebound and sends it wide of goal.
Mafeka continuing to be just such a personality within this game tonight. Dangerous every time the ball is at his feet. He's finding lots of good spaces where he can turn and face up and see the goal and see the movement in front of him. You know, I look back at that tactical adjustment at halftime, and you know, that was really at a time where I felt SAFC, although they were down a goal, were really dictating the pace of the game at that point, and they've lost the grip on that.
A dangerous foul, and Seth Kasipoli will put him into the books in the 74th minute, his second yellow card of the season. As he upended Darnell King there. Sign up to play like the pros presented by Toyota. You'll be entered to win a chance to participate in Toyota Field Day with San Antonio FC players and coaches. Go to toyotafieldday.com to enter. 75th minute at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC down 2. They've not stared at this kind of deficit here at Homeland since they lost to Orange County, and their only loss at home this season, 3-0 back on April the 14th. You know, I think we're seeing as an opportunity here for San Antonio FC inside the area trying to do something with Elizondo in a back touch. Instead, it'll come back here for Darnell King. I think we're seeing, and you know, we still haven't even seen Phoenix Rising yet, who probably has got some of the best skill of any team right now in the USL. There's a bigger skill gap at the top of the table as you go down to the Western Conference. Connor Presley, good cross over the head of the Rising. Elizondo will go right out of play. And here's Ever Guzman, who will make his first appearance for San Antonio FC in these final 15 minutes. Since April 27th, he will come on now for Cesar Elizondo in the 76th minute. San Antonio FC Soccer on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyattoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. King Guzman gives San Antonio FC a spark here in this final quarter hour of the match.
A lot to ask of a player who hasn't been in the mix for quite some time, but a player who's capable of putting things on his shoulders and ultimately getting a quality product. Again, it will be interesting or important to see what kind of service Guzman can get, in particular into those areas in front of James Marcinkowski.
Cheno with 6 goals in his San Antonio FC career in 18 games, 54 goals total over 246 lifetime matches, 10 years in the Mexican leagues, second division primarily. And noted goal scorer. He was brought on late last season. Boy, he really delivered, obviously, when it mattered for San Antonio FC in the postseason. Getting them through into the semifinals against OKC Energy FC. That penalty in stoppage time of the second half. Good ball from Mikey Lopez there, looking for Connor Presley, but run down by Janjigian.
Connor Presley doing what he can there in the attack, working himself from left touchline to right touchline across on a diagonal in front of that back line for Reno. Just trying to create some kind of option forward. Stretching defenders, dragging players across seams.
Rashandel, Cochran. Guzman's first touch. Gordon making the turn, lost possession. Watch out now on the counter for 1868 here. Openo out wide, Marie filling forward, Casipoli getting forward as well. Casipoli brings it down. Nice job by Mikey Lopez coming back to take it away. Ever Guzman now. Out wide, here's Lopez. Gordon making the run. Falls down on his own accord. He fell down on the ball perhaps, but they'll play on. Pekka. Felix to Cochran. San Antonio FC's got to start getting numbers into the box here. Cochran with a good run there on the left side. Whips it in. Marcinkowski, though, able to play it easily.
Yeah, decent run there. Decent effort from Cochran. Just the delivery, the final ball. Right into that space. Marcinkowski going to be comfortable coming into. No real aggressor from SAFC in their box.
I think if you look back, San Antonio FC probably had one great scoring chance tonight. That was in the first half from Omar Gordon as he had a ball targeted for the back post there. Marcinkowski made a great left boot save. Would have leveled the game at that point. Other than that, it has been a frustrating night inside the 18-yard box for San Antonio FC.
And overall has been better between 18-yard boxes. The quality, the purpose, the movement, it's all been better. But we go back to some early stages of the season where it was just that final product.
Pekka brought down edge of the box. Free kick coming up for San Antonio.
Good little turn here from Pekka. Runs it Carroll. The right decision from the referee. Just outside the 18-yard box, but good from Pekka, picking it up, turning and running at that back line. Putting Carroll under pressure, forcing him to defend.
San Antonio FC trying to get on the board here. Their best opportunity in the second half of the free kick, edge of the box. Gordon and Rashandel right now out over the ball. 5 in the box here for San Antonio FC. 81st minute. San Antonio FC really needs to capitalize here. It's Gordon. Right into Marcinkowski. I don't know if he's looking maybe for a deflection perhaps.
His approach and his technique there really looked like he was trying to come through the bottom and up over the top to get it to dip. But he just ended up making contact really right in the middle of the ball. Side-footed it into Marcinkowski's hands. Bailed him out a little bit.
Mafeka. Brian Brown, big second goal here in the second half to extend the visitor lead to 2. Return pass to Mafeka.
Having a hard time remembering a moment when Mafeka's lost possession tonight. He's just really been fantastic. He finds those little seams just like he did there.
Marie trying to play the combination back, deflected away. San Antonio FC, however, still back defending here, and Hedrick will play on after the push in the back there of Paul Marie.
Paul Marie a little too easy to go down there. Center official not having it.
JT Marcinkowski has just one clean sheet this season. And Pekka unable to return the ball back to Mikey Lopez. Final substitution for 1868 will be the veteran defenseman Jordan Morel, as he'll come on for Antoine Opino. And even though Opino doesn't find the back of the net, his setup for Brian Brown's goal is a big one here in the second half that certainly sucked the air a little bit out of Toyota Field in these final 10 minutes. San Antonio FC will head to Colorado Springs next Saturday night for a big match on the road before they return home. Celebrate July 4th against OKC Energy FC, their biggest nemesis of all time in 3 years. The one squad they have never beaten, Lance. They've drawn with them plenty of times. Have not come on the positive side of a result against OKC Energy FC. Well, Energy is having a really down year this year. 4 wins and 10 losses already. Ever Guzman making the run. Out wide here now as he attacks on Carroll. Parried away there. Marcinkowski getting it over to Duke Lacroix. Just drive it out of play.
Nice bit of movement there from Ever Guzman to get around the left-hand side. Really peeled his run out to create that space back to the inside. As he gets to the ball and looks up to find who's in the box, nobody there for SAFC.
Cochran trying to communicate with Connor Presley, and that communication breaks down. We started this homestand, Lance. San Antonio FC, from an execution standpoint, just put on a clinic against Portland Timbers 2 a few Saturdays ago here at Toyota Field. These last couple of weeks have certainly been something of a head scratcher, I'm sure, for Darren Powell as he tries to find some rhythm and some consistency and maybe just some execution from his attack.
Yeah, and we've seen him really sort of go to the personnel sheet and try to identify some different combinations of players and trying to put players in different positions, different parts of the field to create different looks for them. I think that's the only time the balls come off of Mafeka heavy tonight.
Pekka's assessed a yellow. Pekka actually had a yellow taken away for good behavior. He was sitting on 4. And now we'll go back to 4 after accumulating a caution there.
And you're right, it's probably been frustrating for the staff. It's probably been frustrating for the team. And, you know, disappointing about tonight is really how they came out and performed in the first half and started to look a lot more confident, a lot more competent in possession. Overall, the defending was pretty good in terms of getting numbers back, although they weren't really getting pressure out to the ball. And then for things to go as they did with the free kick, well-taken free kick, going into the half down 1-0, and then really just never find themselves here in the second half.
Combination, Mafeka, Lacroix, save Restrepo.
And again, you just see lots of vertical runs, lots of vertical movement, things that aren't going to drag defenses apart and create seams. And that's part of the timing and part of the quality in the final third of the field is the movement off the ball.
But these are things I think that if you look at San Antonio FC, and granted, they've been missing Ever Guzman now for the last 2 months. Kyle Murphy's been dealing with an injury. They have a young striker in Alex Bruce, who's 19 years old. He's playing his first pro games. They've been lacking that experience of a proven striker up top for a real good chunk of the season. So in fairness to San Antonio FC, to really be in the position where they are, only 14 goals of the season through their first 14 matches, is one, a credit obviously to the play of Diego Restrepo and their defense, but also obviously gives them, the opportunity where Darren Powell has always said we are looking to improve week in and week out where we can, especially on personnel side. He knows certainly, I think, what the team needs as they maneuver into the second half of the season.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got some ideas and some ideals about what he wants to see, and I think he feels he's got the personnel to do it, and I think he does. Sometimes it's also the personnel on match day just playing out the task at hand.
Yes.
And fulfilling their responsibilities and their roles. You think about it, you're a wide player in the attack. You've got to be able to run it outside backs and create goal-scoring opportunities, get services into the box. You're a number 9. You got to hold up play and be able to connect back underneath, and then ultimately get yourself into position in and around the face of goal, really within the width of the 6-yard box, and be able to be dangerous in those areas. I mean, these are all roles and responsibilities, functions, if you will, of players in different parts of the field, and the execution has to be better as well. It's not necessarily a personnel issue. It's not even a discomfort or lack of comfort playing alongside certain players. It really sometimes just comes down to execution.
Well, and there are proven goal scorers on this team. Cesar Elizondo's a proven goal scorer. Jose Escalante, proven goal scorer. So to your point, the talent is there, the personnel is there. I think, again, there is something to be said about the fact that they have just not been healthy, really, for the last couple of months. He hasn't had Darren Powell. That is the 18 on match day that he has wanted to use every single week. And he's faced a heck of a schedule, too, when you think about it. I mean, these are some of the best teams in Portland, Sacramento, and Reno that have come to town here on this homestand. And you know what? To walk out, if it's 6 out of 9 points out of this homestand, that's pretty good.
Certainly under the circumstances, I think you're right. And every team's going to face challenges through the course of the season, and everyone's going to have to sort of take it on the chin and carry on and get results in the midst of injuries and so on and so forth, and they've been able to do that here over the last few games for sure. Now, a little bit less friendly schedule coming up in terms of having lots of travel, being on the road and away from home and out of your own bed and all those types of things. Also things that you just, as a professional, you understand that's part of it.
And the number of games, too, and we talked about this, that they're going to have a sequence as Gordon trying to make something happen here late. They're going to start playing 3 games in 7-day stretches, and that's going to tax as well. Well, they're back here at home for what should be a fun night, July 4th, Wednesday night. They'll take on OKC Energy FC. And after the game, you can enjoy a fireworks show here at Toyota Field. Go to 210-444, call 210-444-5MLS, or go to sanantoniofc.com to get your tickets for that July 4th extravaganza. San Antonio FC, OKC Energy FC in a rematch of last year's thrilling Western Conference semifinal match, won in penalty kicks by Energy. Three minutes added time. Lopez to the back post and headed away there. San Antonio FC will be in Colorado Springs with the altitude next Saturday night. Colorado Springs, tough place to play for a lot of teams because of the altitude. Lance, you played in Colorado in your professional career, so you can certainly attest to that as well.
It's definitely different. You think about the humidity and the temperatures here, and then it's just a very different environment. And certainly can take a little bit out of you. Hydration, things like that. Your diet going into that type of a week is in particularly very important to get right. And we talked a little bit about the league and top of the table and bottom of the table and in playoff position, out of playoff position. But if you look at how the league plays out, so over the course of the season, you mentioned just a minute ago, other than the OC game here, losing 3-0, SAFC have been in every match. You look tonight down 2-0. If you look at Reno's performance over the season, also really only 2 matches that have been 2 goals or more. Most everything within the league table is being played very, very closely. Whether the statistics across the board read closely, for instance, last week, or just the score line. But the fact of the matter is, even if you're getting outplayed and you can't seem to get much of the ball, you're still in the match. And we've seen that night in and night out here at Toyota Field, and we see it on the road. And so even though they've been in some woes and a little bit of lack of form or sort of out of timing, if you will, in the final third of the field, have SAFC with some players out and some personnel challenges, they've still played and been a part of every match. This one included, even though it's a 2-0 scoreline.
I agree with you. I think their approach, their game plan tonight, and you pointed it out many times, between the 18-yard boxes was very good. Much better than what it was last Saturday night against Sacramento. But again, the name of the game is putting the ball in the back of the net. And Reno's done that twice, and they're about to hand San Antonio FC just their 7th loss all time in USL play here at Toyota Field. Brian Brown, big goal in the second half, really, which kind of just changed the complexion of the game here, and he's got it edge of the box here, just coming off the final seconds left in this one. It'll be a 3rd straight victory for Reno in the all-time series against San Antonio FC after they were routed in the first ever match between these clubs 4-0 in April of last year in their inaugural season. But Reno really is rounding into good form right now, and they extend their unbeaten streak to 12, and their unbeaten streak on the road to 10 games dating back to last year as they hand San Antonio FC a 2-0 defeat here at home tonight. And goals by Jerry Van Avik and Brian Brown in the second half.
Yeah, and on the evening, I think you've got to really applaud Reno and what they've done coming in on the road, the success that they've had on the road, really, as you mentioned, for quite a long time here. And in particularly tonight, I look at the play of Mafeka, and I know I mentioned that a number of times, but he was really able to, even in difficult moments for Reno in terms of spells of possession, get a hold of the game, change the course of the momentum of the game. The set piece was obviously a big moment, something SAFC have not been able to capitalize on. And those were really a couple of the bigger differences. And then, as you said, late, the third would be Brian Brown coming in the second half and really changing the game at that point.
Partner, we'll see you in a week and a half for the July 4th extravaganza.
Look forward to it.
Your club season continues next Saturday night in beautiful Colorado Springs. San Antonio will take on Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. Kickoff is at 7:30. And to keep up with the team on the road, follow San Antonio FC social media channels. Now, for Anya Rosales, Lansky, and our entire Fox Sports Southwest crew, I'm Dan Weiss, thanking you for joining us tonight. Our final from Toyota Field, Reno 1868 FC 2, San Antonio FC 0. This has been a presentation of the USL and Spurs Sports and Entertainment. So long, everybody.
When it needs to be ultra exciting, high flying, non-stop action, San Antonio FC Soccer's got you covered. When it needs to be high performing, hard working, high tech, super safe, built for comfort, and surprisingly affordable, Holt Cat has got you covered. With best-in-class cat heavy equipment, engines, generators, and more, plus legendary service and support, and the largest parts inventory and distribution network in Texas. Kick it into high gear with Holt Cat.
Corner stores are proudly becoming Circle K, home of the Polar Pop Cup. That's right, you can enjoy any size Polar Pop Cup filled to the brim with your favorite flavor for just 79 cents.